Hello and welcome to another episode of the Jank Tank, a weekly series where I build questionable decks and throw them against the constructed ladder. This week we are looking at a Song of Creation deck. I've been having a lot of fun playing with the different enchantments that they came out for in each of the wedge colors. Song of Creation, I've got one with Offspring's Revenge that I'll probably be doing next week. They're all pretty interesting to build around me cards, but unfortunately they're all enchantments, and they can, since they're built around me, if they get destroyed, your deck usually is kind of wrecked, so I'm not sure any of them are going to see competitive play, but they're fun to work around, so this is what I put together when I built a Song of Creation deck. So Song of Creation is a 4-mana enchantment in red, blue, green. When you play it, you can play an additional land on each of your turns, and every time you cast a spell, you draw 2 more cards. So what this does, and at the beginning of your end step, you have to discard your whole hand. So it puts you into top deck mode, but every time you play a card, you get 2 new ones to replace it. So hopefully you start playing 2 lands a turn and pumping out a lot of different spells. This can ramp you up to pretty ridiculous amounts of mana over the next 3 or 4 turns typically, because you will be drawing and playing usually 2 lands a turn. But it's hard to tell exactly what to do with this. Some people, when they see a card like this, are tempted to play this with a bunch of big creatures and cool stuff that they can just draw and play more stuff with, but that's not really the correct approach for this ability. The big thing here that we can take advantage of is that you are drawing 2 cards for every card that you play. What this does is basically eliminates the cost of each card costing a card draw to play. So lower cost spells, things that are 1 or 2 mana, are much more powerful because you don't have to worry about just running out of cards. Shock is a very damage efficient spell for 1 mana because it costs you a card to draw and play as well. If you want to do 5 damage on a single card, it's going to cost more like 6 to 7 mana, even though Shock can get you 2 damage per mana. So because of this sort of cost cutting that we're doing, where we're not worried about running out of cards with Song of Creation, we are heavily incentivized to play a lot of early small cards and just keep playing more and more of them. So what this deck does is aims to get Song of Creation out early, ideally as early as turn 4, and then turn 5 start playing a bunch of small cards that will bounce their permanents and then drop small creatures onto your side of the board. And eventually, usually this deck wins with Ominous Seas because you're drawing 2 cards for every card that you play. As soon as you play an Ominous Seas, it's about ready to create a Kraken for you. So this is the centerpiece of the deck. If you don't draw Song of Creation, the deck's probably not going to work. The rest of the deck is focused around stalling to that point and then maintaining a board advantage once you do have Song of Creation in play. Now, the chief problem with Song of Creation is that if you play it early, then you dump your entire hand. Next turn, if you draw a land instead of a spell, then you're going to play a land and pass turn because you don't get to draw anything for playing lands. So, in order to get around that, we have put into this deck adventure cards. These are cards that we can cast early in the game, and they will go to our exile zone. And then we can play Song of Creation, and even though our hand is empty afterwards, we always have access to those adventure cards to play to draw more cards. So, for example, on turn 4, I have Rosethorn Acolyte in here. I can pay a green to add a mana of any color, I'll just get green back, and then use that to cast Song of Creation. I'll discard my hand, and next turn if I draw a land, I can just cast Rosethorn Acolyte for 3, and hopefully draw some lands that I'll be able to play, and Rosethorn Acolyte will be a 2/3 body that can stand in the way of things that are killing me. It's not a great body, I don't really use it for anything other than chump blocking, but it is a fallback that will guarantee that I draw some cards that will help me play extra lands or cast spells. And that's true for all 3 of the adventure cards in this deck. We've got Rosethorn Acolyte, Bonecrusher Giant's great for stalling early aggression, and then after you cast Song of Creation, you can play him down as a 4/3 body that will help block or trade with their creatures and draw you cards to keep playing lands. We have Brazen Borrower for the same purpose. It will bounce stuff back to their hand early, and then later you can play him to draw cards. Obviously, if you need to play any of these before you play Song of Creation, then go ahead and do so. These are here to help you stay alive as well. It's just ideal to have something waiting in the wings once you've played Song of Creation so that you don't just skip an entire turn playing a land. Also in the deck, we have Nader Kraken. I added this one very recently, so I haven't fully tested it yet, but it seems good so far. Nader Kraken is a great card on its own. Left unaddressed, it will create a bunch of chump blockers for you and become a huge monster itself. So your opponent kind of has to spend some time and cards dealing with it. Which is great before Song of Creation, because then it buys you a little bit of time when they remove your creature, and maybe diverts some removal they might have used on Song of Creation towards it. You can eat like a Banishing Light, and you're like, okay, thank goodness it's not going to ruin my Song of Creation now, sort of thing. But after you have Song of Creation, this creates tokens every time you draw a card if you pay mana for it. So you can use all of your extra mana making a big Kraken as a win condition, or just chump blocking until you've done enough things that will accumulate to winning the game for you. So I think it fits pretty well in this deck as a secondary backup plan as well as a diversion in the early game. We've got a bit of stall here with Callous Dismissal. Bumps something back to their hand, you get a 1/1 zombie. It just helps you fight off, buy you some time for you to get Song of Creation rolling. And getting rid of blockers is great for after you've landed Song of Creation as well. Getting rid of their creatures, getting rid of blockers means that you'll stay alive another turn to draw more stuff with Song. Lets you get in for some damage if you've got Krakens on the board, that sort of thing. We got Ominous Seas. This is our primary win condition. It's 2 mana when you draw a card for put a counter on Ominous Seas, remove 8 counters, get a Kraken. And you can do this repeatedly off of 1 Ominous Seas. So with this in play, 4 spells of any type give you a Kraken every time, because you'll draw 2 cards each time. Very quickly, even the turn that you play the Ominous Seas, you can end up getting a Kraken to start attacking them. It's pretty straightforward. Unless they deal with Ominous Seas, they can't really deal with all the Krakens that you're going to make. And if they do deal with Ominous Seas, then they're not dealing with Song of Creation, and you can just go draw into more Ominous Seas. So it's kind of some redundancy. If they have Enchantment Hate, you can play Ominous Seas early to try and draw that Enchantment Hate and draw into some more later. We've got Radical Idea. This follows a lot of the same principle as the adventure cards. Once you play Radical Idea, it first off helps you dig for Song of Creation or the lands you need to play it. And second, it sits in exile, or sits in your graveyard technically, for you to jumpstart later. If you draw a land off of Song of Creation, you discard it, play Radical Idea, and draw 3 new cards. So this was a 4 of. I cut it down to make room for the Nader Kraken. I'm not sure that was the right call. We may end up wanting to put 2 more back in. We have Arboreal Grazer. This works pretty well with Song because you can play him, draw 2 cards, and then put one of the lands that you draw from Song right into play. But he also helps you ramp you into a turn 3 Song of Creation if that's what you need. I was looking for really cheap cards. This might be better off as a Growth Spiral, though. I am not positive. He does okay, though. He blocks flyers early on, so he takes care of healers, hawks that are pinging you. He doesn't kill them, unfortunately, but he can help prevent some aggression, which is why I like him in here. As an 0/3 blocker, just demands something or else he's blocking each turn, so it's nice. We've got Shock and Scorching Dragonfire as low-cost removal. Scorching Dragonfire is pretty good at dealing with Lurrus decks, and Shock is just cheap and efficient. You're fine drawing either of these off the top with Song of Creation because they're so cheap, and they'll usually take care of some problem for you. That is the deck. It's pretty straightforward in execution. You want to resolve Song of Creation as early as possible, and then start drawing cards, flooding your board with stuff, any kind of stuff, and eventually killing them with Ominous Seas. We will see how it does. It's done okay with me so far. It's not great. Obviously, this deck's never going to become like a tournament staple because Song of Creation itself is a 4-mana enchantment that just dies. And there's not much we can do about that. We can try and bait out removal with other things, but ultimately if they kill Song of Creation, we're not going to be doing much this game. Plus you also need to draw it in your starting hand, which we did not. I have an Ominous Seas here. We've got all 3 colors. I'm going to keep this, but we may end up just never seeing Song of Creation and losing. Ominous Seas is a pretty slow backup plan for a deck like this. It's been a while since I've played on the ladder, so I'm not sure what to expect. I've seen a lot of companion decks but it's been probably 4 or 5 days since I've actually done a queued game. There's been a lot of strange stuff floating around after the set came out. Okay, so play Ominous Seas, and if they give us a chance to shock Paradise Druid, we will take it. This is probably going to be those like All That Glitters style decks. Put Sentinel's Mark on Paradise Druid, play All That Glitters, attack with Paradise Druid. Yeah, no surprise. We were 100% correct. Go ahead and shock the Paradise Druid. I think that'll be okay. Let's see, so... Ominous Seas number 2, I'm just going to play them both out. This is really dangerous for him. So if I can keep things from spiraling out of control, then we might be okay. Well, we're definitely not going to be okay. But I can bounce this first target for an enchantment, so... This is going to be bad very quickly. Scorching Dragonfire. Okay. That's really helpful. Alright, so we're going to put the champion back in its hands. Oh, I thought the Setescent champions were on cast. Well, fortunately this spell has to resolve for him to get his card, so we're actually looking pretty good. I'm going to cycle one of these. We're halfway to a Kraken. Would have really liked for this to not come in tapped. As it is now, we might not be able to Bone Crush or whatever he puts his enchantment on. Oh, that's a good draw for him. Season of Growth. Whenever he casts his enchantments, let's see, +2/+2. He might just kill the Grazer. He's got another Sentinel's Mark. It's 1 damage. I'm going to keep the Grazer around, see if I can get a good 2 from him with Bone Crusher Giants. Season of Growth, whenever he casts his enchantments targeting his creatures, he gets a draw card, so pretty good. All of his enchantments now cantrip. Alright, so we've got Setescent Champion. If he goes to enchant, I guess I can double Bone Crusher his champion. Doesn't seem terrible. Let's go ahead and block again. Oh man. Choices. Well, we don't really have anything else going on. Setescent Champion is not his only source of card draw, but it is card draw. I think that's our biggest threat. Champion's scary. Well, we're almost there with our Seas. Just a couple more turns of him not drawing scary enchantments. I don't think it's likely, though. Alright. We are in a bit of trouble. I can't block the Beloved Princess because it has text that says it can't be blocked by power 3 or greater. Let's get a green. Blade Brazen Borrower. Okay, so we have a Triome, which means that this turn... Oh, might as well do it now, see if I get another card draw. No, I don't. Alright, so I've got 1 Kraken. next turn I'll have another. He's got me on a 3-turn clock, so I'm probably just going to lose if I can't find some callous dismissal for his beloved princess. Or if he just plays, you know, another all that glitters. Okay. Oh. Alright, I think we lose 9. No, we have 1 turn left, unless he plays another enchantment. I didn't think I'd need my Brazen Borrower to block. Well, let's see if we can top deck some creature bounce. Ominous Seas. It's got cycling. Radical idea. The Ominous Seas is a good card. Rosethorn Acolyte. Alright, I think we just lose. Yeah, even if... Oh no, I can block the Princess with the Grazer. I can't block that one though. So I play the Acolyte. Alright, block there, block there, block there. This doesn't have trample. Okay. There are a lot of ways we can lose next turn, but we're not dead on board. Oh, that was foolish of me. It has Vigilance, of course. Okay. It's okay. Well, it's not appreciated. We're still not dead. Brazen Borrower. Okay. These are cards. We're still in it. For the moment. All of this card draw, though, is going to be a problem. As is another Beloved Princess. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, so we gotta bounce the Princess. We'll block the Envoy. And then we need 2 more creatures that can block Beloved Princess, as well as a way to deal with Transcendent Envoy. I'm pretty sure that's legit and possible. So now we lose. We'll concede. No Song of Creation. The Ominous Seas were okay. I got rid of one of the Krakens for no reason, so it's just a play mistake. So if you're wondering, I should have definitely should have saved the 2 Bone Crushers for the Beloved Princesses. As big as Setessan Champion gets, Krakens could have gotten in his way. Yeah, this is... This probably won't work. I'd probably just get rid of the Ominous Seas, I guess. Thought erasure. It's annoying. Well, I'm assuming he has another then if he's going to get rid of that. So he's just going to thought erasure me again. Yeah. As dumb and annoying as these decks are, I can't really fault anyone for playing with these. They are pretty much the only way to deal with a lot of decks going around right now. Is just take out a lot of their good stuff. Because there's a lot of strong synergies and dangerous singleton cards that you need to worry about. Like Winota decks, pretty bad if they don't find a Winota, that sort of thing. So early disabling is very important. I would run this, it's just really boring. That was cool. Didn't need that a moment ago. The other reason I shouldn't have kept this hand is because it has none of the adventure stuff. Okay. Has none of the adventuring or radical ideas that you would need to back up a Song of Creation. So if I play Song of Creation now, I'm just kind of out of luck. Alright, Atris is always fun. Well, obviously the one he wants is Nicol Bolas, so I either do it face down like this, or flip them. He doesn't want to Cry of the Carnarium, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean he just gets Nicol Bolas. Oh, he took Cry. Okay. I guess he's worried about, he thinks I've got... He thinks I'm running the elementals. Alright, we'll go with giving him a Thought Erasure if he wants it. He's going to take 2 lands. Nope, he takes the Thought Erasure. He wants to know what I've got in my hand. Might as well just play it. Forced him to actually play something of interest. I think he's just going to Thought Erasure me first, yeah. And then play a Murderous Rider? Take 2. Okay, so he's just dumb heavy on removal spells. He knows that if he taps out for Nicol Bolas, I'll just kill it. Unfortunately, Shark Typhoon is basically going to end this game. And not in my favor. Okay, he's gonna get rid of my Arboreal Grazer. I guess he just wants a 0-4 or a 4-4. fine. I've got another one. Guess we're just doubling down on Ominous Seas. It's gonna be a decent way to outrace this Shark Typhoon, I guess. I just need to get a bunch of good card draw now. Like from a Song of Creation, maybe. Fate of Wishes, so you can probably just go get, like, not Mystic Repeal. I don't know, is there good blue enchantment removal? Agent of Treachery. Sure. Let's go get some Planeswalker. It's gonna what? +2 me to death. Let's see. Nicol Bolas is still a problem, but I kind of need to deal with these sharks. So we'll just spend all our stuff. Don't really have an option. Great. Should have gotten islands. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna lose this game no matter what.
Stay back. Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm?
Without the Song of Creations, this deck's not gonna be able to take off fast enough. This is lethal. Yeah, I don't think it's a single card that'll do enough. Callous Dismissal's cool, but we're just gonna concede. Thanks for getting rid of all my cool cards, so on. Like I said, annoying, but I can't really blame anyone because there's a lot of really strong stuff right now that you have to deal with preemptively. A lot of Thosses you have to kill. Strong Planeswalkers. Well, this could be good. I need to draw one more land. But we'll have 2 Rose Thorns ready to go. They can be any color of land, so... Arboreal Grazer. Sweet. Play against Jeskai stuff. I like Flourishing Fox. It's a good card. 2 Flourishing Fox. It could mean trouble for us. Let's see. Is it worth Callous Dismissaling one? He could just replay it. It's only 1 mana now. I'll wait until he's cycled some stuff and then do that. Seems good. It's a lot of cycling. I'll block. Not in the mood to take 8. Okay. Not sure how much more cycling he has in his deck, but looking at his cards, I presume it's like 60% cycles. So I probably won't be able to kill this fox with shock. Well, if he doesn't play another land... Okay. I can get it right now, even if he cycles again. Death to the fox. Please fight as one and just wrecks me. Alright, we did it. We need another Callous Dismissal now. Need another land is what I need. Another land would be cool. I'll take 5. I mean 6. Oh, he didn't have the mana to cast it. Okay, I was gonna say, he probably should just cast Starting a Development for the damage. Okay. So we did something. I don't know if it is enough, but we're going to cast these Rosethorn Acolytes. Oh no, did I just ruin everything? No. Okay. We're going to cast Rosethorn Acolytes, that way they're still in our pool for adventure. So if we don't immediately die here, we have a chance of stabilizing and playing this game. Oh, that's nifty. I bet that works pretty well for him. Improbable Alliance. Every time he cycles a card or 2 cards on my turn, he gets fairies. Doesn't have trample, so I'm not sure why he cast that. He would have been way better just cycling it. Maybe he meant to. That kind of ruined his turn, I bet. Alright. Well, Scorching doesn't do a lot for us here, so I'm just going to burn his face. We got 2 lands into play and a chump blocker. It's a little something. Oh, I think we just lost. 3. Okay, we're not dead yet. Next turn we might be dead. Zenith player is pretty strong. Let's see, so we'll do Crusher. Arboreal Grazer. And Ominous Seas. If he just has another Zenith Flare in his hand, then I don't think we're gonna survive, but you never know. But I think he does, that's why he cast that turn. Yeah. Alright, well, we almost got to do a thing. This deck doesn't really have any defensive stuff. No counter spells in it, because counter spells don't work with Song of Creation at all. Bunch of lands and Scorching Dragonfire. I'm sure we'll draw something in the meantime. Playing against a Yorion deck. It's not good. These are usually pretty strong and run Agents of Treachery. Well, let's see how far we can get. Fortunately, I believe most of the Yorion lists I've seen are pretty slow, so we're not going to get overrun early. I say as he plays a 1-drop. Well, let's just shock it. I don't like you. I don't know what he was going to do with it, but it wasn't going to be anything good. So I can just slam his Song of Creation down right now. looks like he missed his land drop, so we're gonna go see if we can get lucky. Goodbye, my hand. Hopefully I don't draw a land. Hopefully he doesn't just Vanishing Light. Not this turn, at least. Oh, look. This is why you don't play Song of Creation without any adventure backup. Oh, what kind of ore is he gonna get? Does he get one with the stars? It just turned it into a blank enchantment. Actually, one with the stars doesn't turn it into blank. Alright, he's ramping some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, next turn he can Agents of Treachery, so we probably lose next turn. Let's see if we can get another song down. Let's get blue. Come on, drawing stuff. Well, there's a Callous, or an Ominous Seas, so at least if he takes the song, we'll have Ominous Seas, which is okay. Callous Dismissal is probably not a great idea. Oh, we didn't see him get anything. No, he got the Wolf Willow. Okay. That's probably fine, so... I don't want to bounce the Heliod's Pilgrim back to his hand, but I do want to play cards. And now I can't play any of these. I guess I can Radical Idea, but I think I'm going to save that for next turn. Am I? Yeah. Oh. No. I want to be mana efficient here. I've still got Rose Thorns if he's playing Agent of Treachery. But he doesn't have access to blue, so I guess he's not so used to that being what these decks do. I guess he's just kind of jamming enchantments. So it's like an enchantment Constellation Yorian deck. Okay. Well, we live another day, so that's really good news for us. Alright, so we're going to bounce his permanent. I'll definitely cast this Rose Thorn. And then we'll probably just play a Rose Thorn, depending on what we draw. Well, I'm gonna play this Ominous Seas, actually. Oh. It... There's a lot of Krakens that we have all of a sudden. Three Krakens. And more on the way. We're down to 20 cards, so we do have to be a little careful not to deck ourselves. But fortunately, I think this will be enough Krakens. And end of turn. Goodbye, hand of really good cards. not sure what he can play in these colors that'll deal with all of these. I guess he's gonna play his Nexus Ward. Pass again? Alright, let's make 3 Krakens. Oh, okay, he's done. Alright, well I can't say that was a really strong victory. His deck didn't have a lot of really high impact cards, and he gave us plenty of time to set up. Which is kind of what this deck needs, unfortunately, in order to play well. The problem ultimately is protecting Song of Creation. It's hard to do while also keeping yourself alive. But that was a good demonstration of how the deck is intended to function. Just kind of play stuff until you have Krakens to win. I don't think this is... Well, double Ominous is pretty good. We'll go for it. I miss casting Boon of the Wishgiver with Ominous Seas, though. That was one of my favorite parts about the Shark deck from last week. Ominous Seas looks like it's at a non-scary 4, and then you draw 4 cards. Alright. Ominous Seas number 1. It's playing green, so we could run into a number of cards that destroy Ominous Seas, which will be regrettable. If he slams down a Barrier Breach this turn and just takes them both out, we'll have to concede out of shame. Oh, it's a Vivian.
Oh, I am gonna love tearing this place to the ground.
Well, I guess we're gonna Dragonfire Paradise Druid. I think that's our best bet. It is tapped, so... I guess I could bounce Paradise Druid. I guess I could do both. Scorching Dragonfire Paradise Druid. And then return Vivian. This buys us quite a bit of time. And shows that our hand is entirely useless and empty. And the Blaststone has just too many counters to actually kill our zombie army. Alright, so he's got a lot of mana. I'll check this out. Our Boreal Grazer puts our Stomping Ground into play. I don't even need it to be untapped. Arcbow with these Incubation Druids is pretty nice. So just, yeah. 6 mana to work with this turn after casting Vivian. So what he does is he plays Vivian with his 4 lands here, puts a counter on each of his 2 Incubation Druids with the Vivian Arcbow Ranger, and then they tap for 3 each. So we could be looking at something pretty terrifying. Hopefully it's something terrifying without Trample, so that we can chump block it. Okay, so he just goes for a hasty Ceratops, I guess. I guess that's fair. I am kind of surprised. I'm not really putting much pressure on him. He definitely had the time to... No, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe he thought I had a counter spell. Maybe he thought this represented countering, you know? Could be like Ionize or something. It's like I'm not gonna run my Vivian into Ionize. But if otherwise, he could have just played Vivian Arcbow Ranger, tapped his Incubation Druids for 6 mana, and played Shifting Ceratops as well. That puts a Vivian on the board a turn earlier. But he's playing cautiously, so that's fair. I'm not pressuring him, so he has plenty of time to do things right. Oh yeah, Arboreal Grazer number 2. They're so good at blocking Shifting Ceratops. They're not good at blocking any of this stuff. I think I'm gonna just keep him in my hand for now, because I don't really need him. I'd rather have him in my hand if I get a Song of Creation. You can get trample, so there's not much blocking going on here. Yeah, I think he figured out that I just don't have anything in my hand.
My heart beats in unison with the wild.
Seems good.
Stomping time.
I'm just going to block with this Grazer right now before the Grazer gets eaten from Vivian's -3. I think that will save me a little bit of health. I think without a good top deck next turn, these steeds are just going to be too slow. We'll play Grazer. Could still come back from this.
Together, we will prevail. Behold, nature's true power.
Watch out. They bite.
Yeah, that was what I was worried about happening to the last one. Oh, now we're just dead. You didn't have to be like that. Could have given me one more turn. Just a little Song of Creation. Would have only been like 4 Krakens. Well, let's try again. There's a lot of removal and no mountains to cast it with. Well, let's try it. We'll put back the shock. Guess we're getting mountain. Want my shock back. Oh. Cool. Okay, so I can play Ominous Seas right now, and I think I will because I have Callous Dismissal. Like, if he goes turn 2 a Johnny's Pride mate, then we obviously missed the boat for shocking it, which is unfortunate, but he didn't. I guess he just doesn't have a card to play. It seems good. We're just going to shock the Healer's Hawk. Rather Bone Crusher it, but it's 2 damage either way. I don't think this needs to come in untapped. We're gonna save the Callous Dismissal. And since he's not really playing anything, I'm actually going to wait a turn on Song of Creation. anything green. I'm gonna see if I can get a land play as well next turn. I don't. I guess let's just Callous Dismissal now, since we're probably gonna lose it next turn. This will at least buy us a little bit of time. Against Mono White, I'm really worried that he's just gonna Oblivion Song. Not Oblivion Song, sorry, that's different card, Oblivion Ring. I think he's just gonna Banishing Light, Song of Creation. Okay, well, here's our Johnny's Pride Mate opportunity. That feels good. Alright, so... yeah, we play lands, and then we leave the forest open to play Arboreal Grazer. That'll draw some cards immediately, maybe get another land play. It does. Actually gets us both these lands into play. Ketria comes in for Grazer. That. Alright, well... We're not in a great spot if he does have Banishing Light. But at least we have Ominous Seas almost ready to go. Whenever creature you control attacks the land, it gets +X or X to the number of creatures you control. Unfortunately, we ran direct removal, and it's not going to be a whole lot for him, so... It's basically just working towards Devotion with Heliod. Oh, Double Song. That gets a little out of hand. We're not going to play it. It's too much. We are going to shock whatever we can. You might be wondering, am I willing to Scorching Dragonfire my own creatures in order to play more cards? The answer is yeah, totally. I need to pay 2 life to do so, but yeah, I'm sure. Get out of here, zombie. Don't even go to my discard, get exiled. And it was absolutely worth it to get this Radical Idea. That'll help guarantee next turn's really good for me too. Oh, I really want that Ominous Seas though. That'll help speed things along nicely. Oh, sweet. Oh, nope. Yes, we got there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put this Rose Thorn in our hand as well. Or rather, take it from our hand and into our Adventure Zone. It's the Adventure Zone. Alright. So, we got 2 Krakens attacking next turn, plus a Bone Crusher. Should be lethal? We'll see what he plays. We're losing something. Let's see what it exiles. Ominous Seas or Song? I'm afraid Song was probably the right call here. Okay. Daxos turns on Heliod. Could work. Or not. Well, let's just swing. Moment of the Sun doesn't quite... Okay. No. Alright, that's just lethal. That's too many counters. Getting to 2 Krakens that immediately was pretty sweet. So yeah, early game removal into mid game Song. It's supposed to be how it works, but when they kill Song, it doesn't really do anything. I think him missing his 2-drop of Johnny's Pride Mate was a big deal for him. Well, without green, I don't really like this hand. We'd have to draw a source of blue in order for this to be good. We are drawing, though. Oh. Very nice. Red. We haven't run against any heavy red decks yet today. I think either way it just goes grays or... Yeah, I don't think it really makes a difference what land we play. Yadaro. Alright, he's gonna try and cycle Yadaro as fast as he can. Okay, so we can just go ahead and slam down Song of Creation right now. I think I want the Kraken up, however. That way next turn if I draw a land, I can once again Song of Creation into Rosethorn Acolyte and start going immediately. And if I don't draw a land, I can just go with the Nader Kraken plan and pay a mana to put a counter on it. If he doesn't Scorching Dragonfire. We didn't get a land. Yeah, sure. Seems good. We got a lot of removal. Although, if he's going with the Yodaro plan, we probably should be rushing things a little bit. That was on his main phase. Oh, okay, he concedes. Aw. Guess he didn't have anything that could deal with a Nader Kraken. It's a good card. Alright, well let's try one more game, see if we can get some good back and forth going with this deck. Or if it just get crushed again. Seems fine. These are all good cards. Turn 1 Arboreal Grazer is when I want to see it, so... Let's put this into play. Might just cycle Ominous Seas. Seems really bad without Song backing it up. I just play it, I don't really have anything else going on. Go attack. Blue, red. That promises to be annoying. I'm gonna save this Bone Crusher in case he plays like Brianborn or Goblin Electromancer. I want to kill it right away. Blue-red tends to have some fragile creatures that are worth keeping dead. Probably should have cracked this for a green last turn. Reduce the chance of drawing lands. Go ahead and do it now. Won't play anything. Maybe he'll think. We'll take 4. I don't want him drawing a million cards. Scorching Dragonfire. Alright, well we've got good bit of removal. Unfortunately, I think he's just going to risk factor us to death. Yeah, I'm going to take 4 again. It's really good for 1 card, but... Oh, he's Act of Treason, okay. He wants me to play things that will kill me. So I guess that means I should play this Arboreal Grazer. so that I have more blockers for my own things. Shock. Alright. No land. Unfortunately, if he's just sitting on counter spells, we're going to play our Song of Creation, it's going to get ionized. I wonder if he has creatures or if it's entirely spells. Make this deck really disappointing. This Kraken from Ominous Seas is going to probably betray us if we get to that point, if he doesn't just shock us 4 more times. I'm going to cycle this Triome. Alright, so we're probably dead. Oh, now he knows if we don't have Quench, or else it wouldn't have auto-tapped like this. I wonder now that we've tapped our blue if he's just going to Slaying Fire us. Well, I didn't really draw anything interesting. Oh, now we drew something interesting. This Kraken would have been really helpful, like, a long time ago. Long time ago. Cool. Just go ahead and kill ourselves. That was exciting. Yeah, I figured he had Ionize. I don't think his deck had creatures in it, which makes our main deck plan problematic. Well, there you have it. Song of Creation, when it sticks, probably kills the opponent, but trying to get there, like usual with most Jank decks, not great. So how would I change up this deck? Well, I've got some sideboard options. They're not really sideboard, but like options you can consider to change up the deck. We didn't run into it, but if you stick to Song of Creations, you draw too many cards and you can kill yourself before you kill your opponent. I've played with 2 Clear the Minds in this deck before, but I took them out for, I think, Nader Kraken. They worked okay. You shuffle your graveyard back into your library so you can keep going. It's a nice backup plan, but it doesn't really help you do anything, so I took them out because you probably don't need it. But if you find yourself drawing too much with Song, then it's good. Have Growth Spiral, you can play this instead of Arboreal Grazer. I think the Grazer is better at blocking, so I used that, but Growth Spiral is an instant and draws you a card, so it's better once you have Song of Creation down, probably. Once you put your lands into play untapped. It's okay. Risen Reef, another good creature that helps you ramp. Elementals are pretty strong. You always like seeing them when you're in, once you've landed the Song of Creation too. Sec doesn't really have any elemental synergy, so it doesn't work well with anything except itself, but it's another good, card draw, digging for, Song of Creation option. I mean, it's a good card, so there's no reason not to play it. It just doesn't ramp as well, because it's basically jumping you from turn 3 to turn 4, and if you have a land, you're already going to get Song of Creation on turn 4 without Risen Reef. Arboreal Grazer can jump you to turn 3 Song of Creation. Risen Reef doesn't really do anything for you in terms of that, but it draws you a card, so it can help you dig. It's okay. We didn't really have much problems with creature-based decks. Storm's Wrath can help stabilize if you're trying to clear the board before sticking your Song of Creation. It can buy you some good time. Didn't really run into any super aggressive red decks, so yeah, the big problem that we had wasn't really with creatures or ramping, or even really Song of Creation hate. It was presenting enough of a threat to force them to deal with our stuff. Our opponent would have been spending their burn on our creatures if we had played creatures that could have killed him. So you may want to, if you have them, jump to 4 Brazen Borrowers. I only have 2, so I only have 2 in here, but they can kill your opponent. I I guess if I should have played those Bone Crushers instead of saving them. I was really worried about sprites. The 1/1 hasters that get a counter when they play a spell. That sort of thing. Sprites and the Goblin Electromancers, so I wanted to save them. But had I played the Bone Crusher Giants, they would have eaten some of that direct removal instead of the Burn to the Face. So probably recommended to play that. I'm not sure what else would be great for early threats that also help you stay in the game. Let's see. These colors, I guess you could play Paradise Druid. That's good for attacking and ramps you instead of Arboreal Grazer. Yeah, probably take out the Grazer, put in Paradise Druid, lets you attack for 2. Then if they try and play a Planeswalker, you can just attack the Planeswalker instead. It's probably not a bad idea. Unfortunately, this deck really wants some counter spells, and can't. That's all there is to it. You can't play counter spells with Song of Creation. If you really want to try, what I recommend is Neutralize, because it will cycle for 1, so when you draw it with Song of Creation out, you can just cycle it to draw a new card. It's not a bad top deck. So that's probably a good try. Toss in some Neutralize instead of Nader Krakens, maybe. No, the Krakens were really good. Instead of... not Bone Crusher. Instead of Callous Dismissal, I guess. It's the next best thing to take out. I did want Radical Ideas back into. I think the card draw would have helped us find Song of Creation a little better. But yeah, Neutralize, counter target spell, cycle for 2, so it's a little worse, but at least it can replace itself, give you another chance to draw a spell when you're on Song of Creation time. And until then, you can counterspell their stuff. Helps you stay in the game, stay ahead of whatever they're doing the first few turns. But again, it's 3 mana, so you're not gonna be able to do anything with it except turn 3 sit on Neutralize, and then turn 4 try and land Song of Creation. Doesn't protect Song of Creation at all. It just is a very narrow window where it might hit an important Luris or something. But this deck would like some way to interact with the opponent a little more. I guess you could do Shark Typhoon. It's always a good card. Shark Typhoon lets you make a big creature while you're sitting on Song of Creation, or waiting to find Song of Creation. Would have been pretty good against our last opponent. This shark would have died, but it would have replaced itself as a card and eaten 3 damage. That Slaying Fire would have gone to it instead of us. So, seems okay. Yeah, this deck wasn't great. Next week, though, I have an Offspring's Revenge deck that does not rely on Song of Creation. That does not rely on Offspring's Revenge as a centerpiece. It is very good with it, but it is more of a, I've done all of my stuff up until now, and you've answered some of it, so here's Offspring's Revenge to get back in the game and to give us a final push towards finishing things out. That's kind of a take on the Mardu Aristocrat style deck with Mayhem Devils. I've been enjoying it a lot. I haven't tried it on the Constructed Ladder, so we'll see next week how it does. Again, this next week I will be uploading, I believe I can still do another sealed. I think the window for that's closing, though. Let me double check. Oh, claim rewards. I guess that was the end of the season. Flipped over today. Okay, let's see. Sealed done with. I've got 19 hours to do another sealed, so I'll try and get another sealed up for next week and do a draft. This has been a lot of fun, so I'll try and have another sealed and draft for you guys for next week, and then on Friday I'll be back showing off my Offspring's Revenge. We'll see you then.